Somewhere in the Kalahari Desert right now, a woman is doing something her ancestors have done every single day for 150,000 years. She is digging up roots with a sharpened stick. She knows exactly which root to dig, how deep it goes, how much water it holds, how it will taste after the afternoon fire. Her grandmother knew this. Her grandmother's grandmother knew this. Every grandmother before that, going back to the very beginning of human existence on this planet, knew this. While the rest of humanity was building Rome, crossing oceans, writing books, launching satellites, and arguing on the internet, her family was here, in this exact place, doing this exact thing, and they are the oldest humans alive. In 1987, scientists at the University of California, Berkeley made a discovery that changed how we understand our species. By studying mitochondrial DNA, the genetic material passed directly from mother to child, they traced every human alive backward through time. Every single genetic line, followed far enough back, every one of them leads to the same woman. Scientists called her Mitochondrial Eve, the most recent common female ancestor of every human being on Earth. She lived somewhere in sub-Saharan Africa approximately 150,000 to 200,000 years ago. And her closest living descendants, the people who carry the oldest branch of the human family tree, are the San people of southern Africa. You have almost certainly never heard of them. Around 100,000 San people live across Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. They are one of the last hunter-gatherer peoples on Earth. They speak languages that use click sounds as consonants, sounds no other language family on Earth uses. When linguists studied these click languages, they concluded they represent the oldest surviving form of human speech. When you hear a San elder speak, you are hearing the closest thing to the first language humans ever used. In 2009, a geneticist named Sarah Tishkoff at the University of Pennsylvania published the most comprehensive study of African genetic diversity ever conducted. Her team sampled DNA from 121 different African populations. What they found demolished every assumption about which humans were the most advanced or the most evolved. The San people carry more genetic diversity within their single population than all the people of Europe, Asia, North America, and South America combined. Read that again. One group of people, living in one desert, more genetically diverse than 4 billion people spread across every other continent on Earth. This is what happens when a population stays in one place for 150,000 years. They accumulate diversity. Every generation adds new variations. Every adaptation to every drought, disease, and famine gets written into the DNA. When a different group leaves and spreads across the world, they take only a fraction of that diversity with them. The San kept the whole library. The rest of us got a copy of 3 chapters. Around 70,000 years ago, a small group of humans walked north out of Africa. The best estimates suggest this group numbered no more than a few thousand people, possibly fewer. From this tiny group, this fraction of the human population, every non-African human alive today descends. Every European, every Asian, every Native American, every Pacific Islander, every person reading this, all descended from one small group that left. While that group was leaving, the San were here. They were here when that group crossed the Sinai. They were here when the first humans reached Europe. They were here when the Americas were discovered. They were here when Rome was built. They were here when Rome fell. The group that left spread across every continent, built every empire, split the atom, reached the moon. The San were here, continuous, unbroken, in the same land. In 2017, a researcher named Karina Schlebusch at Uppsala University published a genetic study confirming what the DNA had been suggesting for years. The San and related Khoisan populations have been genetically distinct and continuous in southern Africa for at least 100,000 years. 100,000 years of unbroken presence in one landscape, the longest continuous human occupation of any place on Earth. Think about what they have witnessed without moving. Egypt built its pyramids and collapsed. Rome rose and fell within 1,000 years. The Mongol Empire lasted 150. The British Empire covered a quarter of the Earth and then evaporated in a single century. Every civilization in human history had a beginning and an end. The San had neither. They simply continued, and now they are being removed. In 2002, the government of Botswana evicted thousands of San people from the Central Kalahari Game Reserve. The land their ancestors have lived on for longer than civilization has existed anywhere on Earth. Water sources were destroyed. Infrastructure was demolished. The official reason was conservation. The land needed to be protected from the people who had protected it for 100,000 years. The same government government later granted diamond mining rights inside the reserve. The San took the Botswana government to court. In 2006, the High Court ruled the evictions were unlawful and unconstitutional. Most were still not allowed to return. The oldest people on Earth are being told they do not belong on the oldest land they have ever known. Their languages are disappearing with them. The San speak over 30 distinct languages. Most have fewer than 1,000 speakers. Some have fewer than 100. When the last speaker of a San language dies, something that took 150,000 years to build disappears. Not a word. A way of understanding the world that existed before writing, before agriculture, before any other human system of knowledge ever invented. A grandmother's understanding of which root holds water in a drought. A grandfather's ability to track an animal for 3 days across sand and stone without losing the trail. Gone. In a generation. Here is what we call progress. The civilization that left Africa 70,000 years ago has been on this earth for less than half the time the San have. Rome lasted roughly 1,000 years. The British Empire lasted 200. The United States is 248 years old. The San are 150,000. By every measure we apply to success, longevity, stability, sustainability, relationship to the environment, the people who went nowhere have outperformed every civilization that went somewhere by a factor of 100. We left and built things. They stayed and lasted. The word we use for people who have not changed is primitive, but there is another word for something that works so well it does not need to change. The click in a San woman's language is older than Sanskrit, older than Chinese, older than Greek. The knowledge of which plant to eat in a drought has kept human beings alive through ice ages and pandemics that erased every other group in that landscape. The same fire her grandmother lit is the fire her granddaughter will light. Not because they failed to progress, because they understood something the rest of us forgot the moment we started building walls. You came from them, not metaphorically, genetically. Follow any human bloodline backward far enough, yours, anyone's, anywhere on Earth, and it leads back to the same African ancestors the San descend from. The people in the Kalahari right now are not a remnant of what humans used to be. They are what humans have always been. The rest of us are the experiment. 150,000 years of continuous life in one place, speaking the oldest language, passing the oldest knowledge forward, surviving everything the world threw at them. That is not a people who never went anywhere. That is a people who knew there was no better place to go.